What's cracking, guys? Welcome back to yet again another episode of the Honda Recap. I got some stuff I want to talk about and then we'll get into the channels after that. You know how this thing goes. Let's get into this. What's cracking, guys? Welcome back to yet again another episode of the Honda Recap. Make sure you hit subscribe, hit that thumbs up and that bell so you're notified every Monday night at 8 o'clock when this thing airs. Will you all do me a favor right now? If you're right here in Premiere, go ahead in the video and leave a like and a comment right now, because if there's a lot of people talking in Premiere right now, let's get those comments up. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and drop a comment after this. Thank you everybody who's back again another Monday night here to hang out, talk Hondas, and just interact with everybody in the Monday Honda Recap right now, where we just go over what's been going on in the past week here on the Honda Recap. I want to give a big shout out to our sponsor Dempsey Corp, releasing the all-wheel drive billet bell housing for all-wheel drive Hondas moving on in the future, and invictusjp bringing you JDM bronze glass for EF and EG right now. What's up to you guys? Thank you so much for always being there for the Honda Recap. One thing I wanted to talk about right here on the Honda Recap is, if any of you haven't gone over to the Chronicles and actually read the WeekFest Los Angeles write-up that Joey Lee did, you absolutely should go do that. That dropped this week, and part 2 also dropped, and I kind of wanted to talk about some stuff that I read within there with you guys and get some feedback from what you guys think in the comments below. Some of the things that Joey talked about was the fact that he's gone on to a bunch of car shows in California and how some of it being a little bit oversaturated. And while I do actually believe that is a thing, because here in California there is shows all the time, so trends seem to happen a little bit faster possibly, and you get to see them blow up and then fizzle out and then come back again. I remember being in high school, 2002, 2003, and always wondering who Sticky Dill Joe was, because you know what? I'd always see sick-ass photos of all the cars that I really liked seeing at shows, and then I'd see his logo in the picture, and I'd be like, dude, I was there too. Who's this guy with the camera? So it's really awesome to know that Joey's been going at this for a very, very long time. So hearing his insight is actually pretty impactful and meaningful when I read the stuff that he writes. What I did notice that he talked about, I wasn't too sure about and I didn't really agree with, but I did agree with the majority of it, which is there's a lot of new things going on right now in the scene. And I do completely understand that when it comes to having an Instagram and blowing up in success and saying that you're a car builder, when you actually put those together with people that build cars for a living, there is a big line there. And I know there's a giant kind of gray area where you could be stepping on toes and not stepping on toes with the things that you're saying. But another thing that he talked about is the fact that there is a saturation in brands and things that people are actually bringing to the table versus just creating to create. And while I do agree that sometimes people are creating things that are the same over and over again, that we may not actually need that, but at the same time, I feel that everybody should have the opportunity to go ahead and do that. And the only reason that I even wanted to bring this up right now while I'm talking to you guys, I did read a comment on the blog post where they said they actually wanted to create a YouTube channel or brand of their own, but didn't want to just be another person saturating the community. So they're going to hold off on doing that. And while I understand that you want to bring something to the table that is different, I guess I just didn't like the fact that you're just not going to do something that you wanted to do because you feel like you would just be another person. And the problem with just doing that is the fact that maybe something that you're going to bring to the table is actually going to change something or is actually going to be impactful. So if you don't start now, you're not going to get there. If that makes sense to you guys, let me know. I am here in the Premiere and I do actually want to hear what you guys are saying. I feel like YouTube channels pop up all the time, which is really awesome to see new builds and new people that want to create something. And I think the difference in the future is who's actually still there. You could have 100 people starting a channel, and within 6 months, there will only be 15 people of those left. In 1 year, there may be 2 or 3, because the consistency that it takes to create a brand or to create something that you're actually passionate about, those people will get limited, in half. So if you actually believe in something, I do believe you should actually start. But if you want to create something to just be like someone else or create a product to bring to industry that is exactly the same just to have it, that's where I guess I also believe the line should be drawn. So if you want to bring something to the table, I believe everybody has the ability to bring something to the table if they want to do that. That is the whole point of this community. You can make something out of nothing of yourself or something and bring it out. But I do think that if you're going to create parts that are exactly the same thing or replicas of what's out there, I don't see the point in that. And that's not being judgmental. It's just, I would really love to see this industry innovate in what it is. So I think one of the things Joey mentioned out there is creating replica like body kits or something. You know what I mean? You can go out and you can buy the authentic spoon parts, Rocket Bunny, or actual parts that people put in the R&D in Japan or anywhere else and bring them to the States to have other people just knock them off and sell them for a quarter of the price. And then you buy those and you build their car. It creates a terrible cycle, because in the early 90s or early 2000s, when this thing really started to blow up, you could only get what existed. And what actually existed was actual either Japanese parts or whatever was created here by somebody. And there was a one-to-one, because that's all there was. As years go by, industry increases, and I understand that that's actually something that's possible. But to just recreate something that exists to make a cheaper version of it kind of makes it a little difficult to progress. When people are just building cars off replica parts, it kind of starts to degrade the actual purpose of the original parts. And I know a lot of you guys kind of agree to that. So when it comes to making products, I believe anybody should have the ability to create whatever you want if you want to innovate on it a little bit to make it yours, or to make it different, or to fit an application that you feel it needs to be made for. So I believe the market is basically open for anybody that wants to do something like that. But when it comes to YouTube or branding or shirts or anything like that, I believe the playing field is completely open. You should have the ability to do whatever it is that you actually want to do, even if it is similar to somebody else. If you're gonna knock somebody off, that goes back to my previous statement. But if you wanna do things a little differently, to kind of have your own niche, to kind of have your own pillars or group, or create your own community, that should totally be fine. And I totally agree with the fact that anybody should be able to do that. And the main reason I say that is because, like I said, in 6 months, those who don't really care won't be around anymore. In another year, those who didn't care then won't be around anymore. So if you're still here in a year or 2 years or 3 years, that's why you're the most passionate. You're still around, you're still grinding, and you're still making things happen. But I don't want anybody to not try because they don't want to just be another person trying to do the same thing. You might be the one that's different. So if you actually feel like you have something to bring, whether it's similar to somebody else, just try it, because that other person might fizzle out in the next couple months, weeks. You don't know. People create Instagrams every single day thinking they're going to be the next big thing, and then completely forget in a week. But somebody else actually cared and will keep going. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What do you guys think about that? All the brands that have been started right now, YouTube channels, clothing brands, or everything else that's basically created. You create your own little community. You want to create your own merch. Basically creating your own community. What do you guys feel about that? Do you think it's worth it? Are you also getting a little worried about the saturation of the community? What are your thoughts? Let me know. I actually agreed with a lot of the things Joey said in that article, and it kind of sparked this right here, me wanting to talk to you. But with the things I did agree with about creating products that are just knockoffs, and also talking about just different brands and different people that either want to be an enthusiast or an authority figure, maybe they should just stay an enthusiast. That topic right there actually started to make me think, because I feel anybody should be able to actually become something. When I read the person comment that they aren't going to start because they didn't want to just be another person, that's what bothered me. And it mainly bothered me because I felt like that person should have created it if they've always wanted to do that. And I don't want anybody to feel like they're hindered from being able to create their own brand or their own YouTube channel or their own thing to create their own community. That's where I kind of draw the line on where we should stop people. Anyways, guys, I don't want to just ramble on and on about that topic. If you haven't actually read the articles, the Week Fest Los Angeles Roundup, essentially on the Chronicles, Part 1 and Part 2, each one of them has its own little bits right there. Definitely go ahead and check them out. I'll link them down below. Tell me what you think. Tell me how you feel. Did it spark an interest in you, or do you have anything to say on the topic? I'd really love to know as well. All right, guys, to get into this week's videos, I'm going to go ahead and kick this off with Tommy Law. I haven't seen a video with this guy in quite some time, and he kind of decided to sit down and go over all the cars that he has right now. He's basically returned his EK hatch completely stock. It's one of the most one-to-one scale models of a car that is driven, that is actually very, very good looking. I got to see it at IBOC, and it is as good looking as it is in video. It's insane how OEM plus he has made this vehicle. On that note, he's also got a TSX Daily white on black interior. Looks very nice. He picked up a spoon bumper, but I don't know when he's going to put that on. His brother's car is actually doing very well. They've been doing a little things on the side, the K20 EK sedan that he has. I'm really excited to see all of these cars on the road one day, and I'm really happy that you're making videos right now. Following that, we got Solar Skate, one of the coolest Del Sol builds right now on YouTube. I won't lie. I wish this guy had more subs and views on his video. He started with basically a shell Del Sol, took everything apart, has a cage, painted the outside, the inside, the cage, has bought a new motor with ITBs, and he's doing a really legitimate job building this car. I really wish that more people would go ahead and check this guy out. It's one of the coolest Del Sols right now being built on YouTube. Following that, we got Automotive Anatomy, back at it again, showing you some really awesome EF hatches out there in SoCal, and I'm really excited. I don't know where you find these cars, man, and I'm really happy that you do. All of the passionate people that are just building these cars or wanting to bring them to the most OEM status that they can. This video actually has a really awesome right-hand drive and a left-hand drive EF hatch. I'm really excited that the owner of these vehicles are actually taking the time to bring them back and restoring them and maybe just keeping them from what they are for as long as they can. Next up, we got Ghost Boy Aki, Keep Gunning channel, and the K20 Civic that they're building right now is looking immaculate. The engine in that engine bay is all black. You were showing us how you get all the wiring done. It looks, again, OEM plus any fancy parts. It's just all stuff that you could get over the counter basically or ordering online. Nothing special, nothing crazy fabricated, and I'm really excited to see when this is done and how much power it puts down, because this is kind of a build that a lot of people would love to do. Just a cool, can drive on the street, make a lot of power K-Series Civic. Oh, and now we got Javi Vibes debuting the color of his EK hatch. Definitely go out, check this thing out. Let me know what you guys think. I love the color of this car. See, he went with the red CTR carpeting on the inside. I think you're looking to get some Recaros as well, so I'm really excited for that. I think this thing is going to turn out really, really great. And if you put in half of the effort into the car that you put into these videos, this car is going to turn out beautiful. After that, we got Moises Robles out there with the H22 CB7. Motor is finally out of the car, kind of giving it a good tear down, trying to figure out what happened to the engine. I think the idea right now is that the piston slapped a valve, and so this whole thing is going to be needing to get taken down. In the next couple of videos, I'm sure we're going to see the head off the block, getting a little rebuild, getting a refresh. I know this Accord is going to come out great as soon as it's all back together and running. Following that, we got the guys out at LHT Performance out there in Florida with a K20A swapped EM1 5-lug and everything. It's really awesome to see how much power you guys are putting out there, and it's really cool to see that it's a really big shop just doing Honda content and doing quality builds. The really cool thing about LHT Performance is a lot of people are actually sending their cars to him to get redone, built, tuned, and sent all the way back to him, and that's really cool if you can get to the status point where people are just kind of like, oh, I want this guy to build my car. I'm literally going to send it to him. Following that, we got Motion Auto TV with the Lambo Killer all-wheel drive, what is it, 500 or 600 horsepower K20 Civic. Man, that's a mouthful, but Trevor's out there on the racetrack, finally hit 10s in the Civic, and actually was told not to come back till he had a cage, so that's pretty cool how fast he's making it right now. He's been through a couple motors now at this point, I think, and I'm really excited the final incarnation of this vehicle is actually going to be. Following that, we got Chris Sadowski hanging out with his buddies. Saturdays are for the boys, back at it again with AD and all the rest of the crew, actually building a Vitara D-Series for a couple friends out there. I'm really excited for this. I think it's the second video that's come out about this. Really cool to see you guys all hanging out again on the weekends, just wrenching, having fun with you guys' cars. This is what cars are about, right? Hanging out with your friends and just kind of making cool little motors and trying to make some power. I'm really excited, man, to keep making these videos. After that, I want to talk about Boosted Boys out there getting a brand new truck to tow all of their cars everywhere around the track. I think last time Kyle bought a truck because he kind of just needed one, didn't really pay attention, got a two-wheeled truck. Now he's got himself a diesel. It's going to take him anywhere he needs to go to drive, everything from Cletus to Cars, Texas, Florida, anywhere they need to go from Colorado. He now has a giant truck with actual four-wheel drive to get the boys everywhere. And shout out to you, Brent. Thank you so much for buying this shirt and wearing it. I really appreciate it. I saw the video and you just rocking the Thehondavlogs shirt, man. That meant a lot. Thank you so much. And I'm really excited to see where this truck takes you guys. You guys need a solid vehicle to get all of these cars everywhere they need to be. All right, guys, and last but not least, we've got Rev High, Drive Happy. I think you guys have seen this dude in the comments and his car around right now. He's got a super clean Integra right now, and he just put in an RFAB plate for his hybrid racing shifter in his Integra. He did a really good review of the RFAB plate. Definitely check that out. It's a really cool channel and an awesome car, and I'm really hoping that your channel grows because this Integra is extremely nice, man. All right, guys, that's it for this episode of the Honda Recap. Thank you all for joining me yet again for another episode. Make sure to hit subscribe, hit that thumbs up and that bell so you're notified every Monday night at 8 o'clock when this thing airs. I'm considering moving this up a little bit earlier to 5 or 6 here on the West Coast, so that way it's only about 8 or 9 out there on the East Coast. Let me know what you think about that. I think it's easier if a lot of you don't have to stay up so late and we get to hang out a little bit more. Let me know what you think of the earlier things I was saying here on the recap, and shout out to our sponsors yet again, Dempsey Corp, bringing you the all-wheel drive billet bell housing for the all-wheel drive Hondas coming out, and invictusjp bringing you JDM bronze glass for the EG and EF. Head over to Thehondavlogs.com/shop, pick yourself up a shirt, a sticker, a hoodie, or anything else you'd like to support the channel. I appreciate everybody who has already. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.